At 7:42 p.m., Daniel saw someone walking alone on the dark sidewalk. At first, he drove past. Then he looked in the mirror. His heart stopped. It was his daughter, Emma. Daniel quickly turned the car around. Emma was barely walking. One shoe was missing. Her coat was dirty, and she kept looking behind her. Daniel stopped beside her and jumped out. "Emma?" She froze. For 1 second. She looked afraid of him, too. Daniel had never seen that look on his daughter's face before. "What happened?" Emma said nothing. Daniel looked at her injured leg. His hands slowly closed into fists. "Who did this?" "Dad, please," Emma whispered. "Just take me home." Daniel opened the car door. He did not ask again. Inside the car, Emma held her dead phone with both hands. Daniel noticed that she was shaking. Then the phone suddenly turned on. A message appeared on the screen. "Tell your father to stay out of this." Daniel saw it. Emma quickly turned the screen away, but it was too late. The car became silent. Daniel looked at the road. Then he asked one question. "Was it Victor Hale?" Emma stopped breathing for a moment. She did not answer. She did not need to. Daniel had not spoken Victor's name in 11 years. Emma slowly looked at her father. "How do you know him?" Daniel did not reply. He looked at the dashboard clock. 7:42 p.m. Then he quietly picked up his phone. Emma grabbed his arm. "Dad, don't." Daniel looked at her. His voice was calm. "I am only making one call." Emma had no idea what that call would start. Neither did Victor Hale. Because 35 minutes later, at exactly 8:17 p.m., Daniel's oldest enemy would be sitting in the back of an Uber. And he would be carrying the one thing that could destroy his entire life. Daniel made the call after Emma was safe at home. He walked into the kitchen and closed the door behind him. Emma could not hear his words. She only heard one name, Marcus. Then the call ended. Daniel returned to the living room. "Tell me everything," he said. Emma looked down at her injured leg. 3 months earlier, she had taken a job at Hale Industries. She never told her father because she knew he would stop her. Victor Hale owned the company. 11 years ago, Victor had been Daniel's business partner. They had built the company together. Then money disappeared. Victor blamed Daniel. Daniel lost his job, his friends, and almost everything he owned. Victor became rich and powerful. But Daniel never fought back. At least, that was what Emma believed. 2 weeks ago, Emma found something strange in the company records. Large payments were moving through fake accounts. She kept looking. Then she found her father's name. Daniel suddenly stood up. "My name!" Emma nodded. "They're old files, Dad. Someone changed them 11 years ago." Daniel's face became still. That evening, Victor called Emma into his office. He asked what she had seen. Emma lied. Victor smiled and let her leave. But 2 men followed her. They took her bag near the parking garage. Emma ran, fell hard, and hurt her leg. Daniel's voice became cold. "Did they get the files?" Emma looked at him. "Yes." Daniel closed his eyes. Then Emma said something that made him look up. But they did not get the copy. Daniel stared at her. Emma reached inside her coat and pulled out a small silver key. "I sent everything before I left the office." "To who?" Before Emma could answer, Daniel's phone rang. He looked at the screen. "Marcus." Daniel answered. For several seconds, he said nothing. Then Marcus spoke. "I still have the old records." Daniel looked at Emma. The truth was worse than he had feared. And Victor Hale had just made his first mistake. Daniel did not ask Marcus to explain over the phone. "Come to the old garage," he said. Then he ended the call. Emma watched him take his coat. "Dad, where are you going?" "To finish something I should have finished 11 years ago." 30 minutes later, Daniel entered a small garage across town. Marcus was waiting beside an old wooden table. The 2 men had not seen each other for years. Marcus placed a dusty box on the table. Inside were bank records, payment lists, and one old black notebook. Daniel opened it. His face changed. 11 years ago, Victor had moved company money into secret accounts. When people started asking questions, he had changed the records and placed Daniel's name on them. Marcus had seen everything. "Why did you keep this?" Daniel asked. "Because I knew one day Victor would hurt the wrong person." Daniel thought of Emma walking alone in the dark. That day had come. His phone rang. "Emma, Dad," she whispered. "Someone is outside the house." Daniel became still. "Lock the door." "I already did." "Go upstairs. Stay away from the windows." Daniel ended the call and looked at Marcus. Victor was moving faster than expected. Daniel took a picture of one page from a notebook. Then he sent it to Victor. Under the picture, he wrote only 7 words. "You missed one copy. Meet me tonight." The reply came almost at once. Where? Daniel gave him an address and one warning. "Come alone. Bring the original file." 8:05 p.m. Marcus stared at him. "You think he will bring it?" Daniel closed the box. "He has to. What if he brings his men?" Daniel looked at the clock. 7:51 p.m. Then his phone buzzed again. This time, the message was from Emma. "Dad, the man outside just left." A second message arrived. It was a photo. Daniel looked at it and went silent. The man outside Emma's house was not one of Victor's workers. It was Victor's own lawyer. Daniel stared at the photo. Victor's lawyer, Thomas Reed, was standing outside Emma's house. Why would he go there? Marcus asked. Daniel did not answer. At 8:02 p.m., Daniel reached the meeting place. It was an empty office above an old restaurant. Marcus stayed in the next room. 3 minutes later, the door opened. Victor Hale walked in alone. He carried a black laptop bag. "You have something that belongs to me," Victor said. Daniel remained seated. "So do you?" Victor placed the bag on the table. "Your daughter should have stayed out of my company." Daniel's eyes became cold. "You followed her." "I only want my files back." She could barely walk. Victor smiled. Then she should learn to run faster. Daniel said nothing. That silence made Victor nervous. Victor opened the bag and pulled out an old blue file. "This is what you want, isn't it?" Daniel recognized it at once. The original records from 11 years ago. "Give me Emma's copy," Victor said. Daniel slowly stood. "There is no single copy." Victor's face changed. Then the door behind him opened. Marcus stepped into the room. But he was not alone. Thomas Reed walked beside him. Victor turned pale. "My lawyer?" Thomas placed his phone on the table. "I have heard enough." Victor looked at Daniel. "You planned this." "No," Daniel said calmly. "You did." Victor grabbed the blue file and rushed toward the door. Outside, he called his driver. No answer. He called again. Still nothing. Then Thomas spoke from behind him. "The board took back your company car 7 minutes ago." Victor froze. For the first time that night, he understood his office access was gone. His bank accounts were being reviewed, and the board already had Emma's files. Victor pulled out his phone with shaking hands. He opened the Uber app. The dashboard clock inside Daniel's car changed. 8:17 p.m. Daniel watched from the window as his oldest enemy climbed into the back seat. But Victor was still carrying the blue file, and he had no idea where his Uber was really taking him. Victor sat in the back of the Uber and locked the doors. "Central Station," he told the driver. The driver looked at his phone. "That is not the address here." Victor frowned. "What address?" The driver showed him the screen. Victor's face went pale. The destination was Hale Industries. "I did not enter that." The driver shrugged. "Someone changed it before I accepted the ride." Victor grabbed his phone. His company account was still connected to the app. Someone inside Hale Industries had booked the car. He tried to cancel. His phone showed one message. "Account access removed." Victor looked through the back window. Daniel's car was not following him. That made him more afraid. At 8:29 p.m., the Uber stopped outside Hale Industries. The building was almost dark, but the top floor lights were on. 3 black cars waited near the entrance. Victor held the blue file tightly. Then his phone rang. It was Daniel. "You wanted this file," Victor said. "No," Daniel replied. "I wanted you to carry it." Victor looked at the building. "What did you do?" "Nothing. I only gave people the truth." The call ended. 2 board members came through the glass doors. Thomas was with them. So were 2 investigators. Victor finally understood. The blue file was not protection. It was evidence, and he had brought the original records himself. Victor turned toward the Uber, but the car was already gone. Across town, Emma sat beside Daniel in his car. She watched Victor enter the building on Daniel's phone. "You planned all of this?" she asked. Daniel shook his head. "No, Victor planned it 11 years ago. Tonight, he only finished it." Emma looked away. There was something she had not told him. Daniel noticed. "What is it?" Emma slowly reached into her pocket. She placed a small voice recorder in his hand. "I lied about one thing, Dad." Daniel pressed play. Victor's voice filled the car, and the first sentence made Daniel forget how to breathe. Victor's voice came from the recorder. "Your father never stole that money." Daniel stopped breathing. Emma watched him quietly. The recording continued. "I changed the records. Daniel was easy to blame because everyone trusted me." Daniel's hand began to shake. For 11 years, people had believed he was a thief. He had lost his company, his friends, and his name. Now Victor had admitted everything. Daniel looked at Emma. "When did you record this?" "This afternoon." Emma explained the truth. She had not joined Hale Industries for a career. She had joined to clear her father's name. For 3 months, she searched old records. That evening, Victor discovered her plan. His men followed her to take the files. Emma ran to the parking garage, fell down the stairs, and injured her leg. They took her bag, but they missed the recorder in her pocket. Daniel closed his eyes. "You did all this for me?" Emma gave a small smile. "You spent 11 years protecting me. I thought it was my turn." Daniel pulled his daughter into his arms. For the first time that night, his anger disappeared. The next morning, Victor was removed from his company. The original file, Emma's copies, Marcus's records, and the recording told the same story. Daniel's name was finally cleared. Weeks later, he received an offer to return to the company. He refused. He did not want Victor's office. He only wanted his life back. One evening, Daniel and Emma walked down the same sidewalk where he had found her. This time, she was not limping. At 7:42 p.m., Daniel had found his daughter barely walking home. By 8:17 p.m., his oldest enemy was sitting in an Uber, carrying the evidence that would destroy him. Daniel never shouted. He never threw a punch. He simply waited for Victor Hale to make one final mistake. And Victor carried that mistake straight to his own downfall.